Good morning, it's Councillor Glen, and this morning I'm standing at the Amberwood Golf Course. Obviously no golf going on right now, but this winter for the first time they've opened up the golf course for cross-country skiing and walking, and I've been talking about this on videos over the past few weeks. I've been out 2 or 3 weeks in a row checking out the ski trails here. I think it's about a 1.5 kilometer loop. And there's lots of ups and downs and hills and different routes you can take. I'm not going to ski today, but I think I'm going to come back tomorrow morning and check it out again. But it's beautiful here. Even if you don't ski, you can come out and walk around. There's some pathways you can use here. A really great amenity, and it's a good news story here in the community. This time about a year ago, there was a lot of uncertainty about the future of the golf course because there were some financial challenges that the organization was having. It's run by volunteers. The oversight of this facility is a community group. They've got some great leadership in place now, and they've put together a plan to fix some of their capital funding problems and ongoing operational issues. And compared to last year, it's on much better footing. So congratulations to the group, and thank you to everyone who's been involved to get this open for skiers and recreation this winter. It's great to have. I've got a bunch of updates. I want to talk about vaccines again, but I'll save that to the end. So we'll go through all the local stuff first. I know several sightings here at Amberwood Golf Course and at other locations across Stittsville. Stittsville is a great habitat for coyotes, especially along the Pool Creek corridor. They really like that as a transportation route and as a home base. We did a talk on Monday night with Nick Stowe. He's a biologist with the City of Ottawa, and he talked about coexisting with coyotes. We've had a lot of people watch that video, either live or watching the video archive. Really fascinating video. We've put an archive of that on Facebook if you scroll back a few days. Also on YouTube, you can see the video as well. Really interesting chat, and thanks to everyone who tuned in and asked questions over the hour. It's cold today, but we've got some warmer weather coming. I want to remind people, if you're able to, keep the catch basins in front of your house clear. Just try to get the snow and ice off of it so that the street can drain. If you're unable to, if there's too much snow and ice on top, or if physically you can't do it, call 311 and they will send someone out to help. We want to get the roads clear so we don't have the flooding as things start to melt. This week we saw the start of the Victor Street road closure. This is to do some utilities connections under Victor Street near Hazeldean. So it's open one lane only northbound, so you can't turn southbound onto Victor Street, but you can keep the traffic inspector on site yesterday reviewing the work, making a few changes to the signage as a result, and we'll continue to watch that as the weeks go on. They're going to be doing that work until basically the end of March, very early April, and we're hoping they can get that work done as soon as possible so we can reopen the road. We have a new development proposal that we posted on my website, glengower.ca. It's for 6111 Hazeldean Road. That is just west of the giant Tiger Plaza. There used to be a showroom for the Potter's Key, the Minto showroom for that neighborhood. There's a proposal to build a big car wash, a Mr. Lube, and I think a Starbucks is what they're proposing. So there's information on my website. I wanted to mention this because there were a few comments to the effect of, do we really need another car wash? And well, we probably don't. You know, we've got several car washes along Hazeldean Road. But the reality is, so many families do a lot of driving. You know, many families have 2 cars or more here in Stittsville, and clearly there's a market for vehicle and car services like gas stations, car washes, oil change facilities, that kind of thing. So I think as long as we keep driving in Stittsville, we're likely going to see the business market respond to that, car sales lots, things like that. So I wish we could have more variety. I'd like to see more variety of local shops and so on, but we need to support those shops with our wallets as well. So please make sure you're going out and supporting local businesses that you love, because we need them in our community, and we need more of them in our community as well. Shea Village, that's another development in the south part of Stittsville along Shea Road as you get to Fernbank, so just south of the soccer fields at the rec center. There's some tree removal that started this week. They do have a permit from the city to do tree removal. There's lots of conditions around it, and it is being supervised by city biologists, naturalists, and so on. The work has to happen now because bird nesting season happens roughly starting in April. So the tree clearing has to start in advance of that to minimize the impact on the wildlife. We have starting March 22nd, registration for city aquatics, so swimming lessons. Obviously there's new rules and physical distancing and so on in place, but March 22nd is when you can sign up for swimming lessons, and there's information on the city's website, ottawa.ca, about that. Coming up this week, we have another meeting of our Stittsville Main Street Steering Committee. This is a great group of about a dozen people, business owners, community volunteers, people with expertise in Main Street revitalizations. We're using them as a sounding board and a bit of a planning group to start moving forward some initiatives for Stittsville Main Street. So thanks to the folks who are participating in that. I'm really looking forward to Tuesday night's meeting. Monday is International Women's Day. There's a free celebration. Usually this is done at City Hall as a breakfast kind of mini conference for International Women's Day, but because of COVID-19, it's being done in a virtual format. The guest speaker is Dr. Vera Etches, and you can watch that online for International Women's Day, and I know there's other events happening around the community as well. We have a city council meeting this week, and those are always long and often full of surprises. So busy week ahead. I mentioned I wanted to talk about vaccines, and I do. So this week, the City of Ottawa started vaccinations for some people in the 80 and older age group. What we're doing, the vaccine task force is targeting the vaccines that we have initially to people who live in the highest risk neighborhoods. There are certain neighborhoods in Ottawa that are seeing a 5 to 12 times or 5 to 15 times, anyways, a significantly higher risk of hospitalization and death due to COVID-19. So to start with, there's about 1,600 80-year-olds in these priority neighborhoods. So they're going out there first to offer vaccinations. As March goes on, as we get into April, there'll be more communities added to that list, and we will see the general public 80 years and older receiving vaccines very soon. I know from the federal government there's some good news around vaccine approvals and vaccine deliveries. This is good. The only thing holding up Ottawa's plan right now is getting the vaccines. We have clinics ready to open. We've got staff ready to go. We've got the booking. We can do that locally. We don't need to wait for the province. We're set to go on this. We just need those vaccines, and we can get hundreds of thousands of vaccinations going within a few weeks. So this is really good news. As soon as we get the vaccines, we'll be able to roll that out. How will you know when it's time to get your vaccine? We've had a lot of questions about this, especially from older adults in Stittsville. Every Monday, there's going to be an announcement coming out from the City of Ottawa. It'll be a press release. It'll be on radio, newspapers, television, social media. I will share relevant info for Stittsville residents through my newsletter and on my website as well. So every Monday going forward, there's going to be a new announcement about expanded availability of vaccines for more groups. Like I said, once we get through the priority neighborhoods for 80 plus, we'll be moving to all over Ottawa with 80 plus. And then once people over 80 are done, we'll be moving down in 5-year increments. So the next group would be 75 years and up, and then 70 years. There's people with certain conditions and chronic care that'll also be part of that list. I don't want to get into all the details now, but you can find information at ottawa.ca or at glengower.ca. The last thing I want to mention, because we have had a few questions, there's not a place where you sign up in advance for vaccines. You've got to wait until you're eligible, and then there will be a phone number that you can call to book an appointment. So watch the news, watch websites, watch social media on Mondays every week going forward for the next set of information about availability. We're almost a year into this, and I think there's a lot of reason to be hopeful. I want to thank everybody for doing everything you can to follow the guidelines from Ottawa Public Health around physical distancing. We had an update from Dr. Etches yesterday. Some of the signals and stats that we're seeing point towards a worsening right now, perhaps getting back into the red zone. So it's really important that we take a lot of care and caution and do the right things when it comes to preventing COVID-19 transmission in our community. I'm going to wrap it up there because my cheeks are getting very cold here. Thank you to everybody who tunes into these every Saturday morning. I'm glad I get notes from you all the time, and I'm glad these updates are useful. I enjoy doing them. It's a great excuse to get out and explore different parts of the community, and I usually do, after these, usually check out some of our casework issues as well. So anyhow, thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next Saturday. Take care.